A teenager, a police interview, and words that would change a life forever. What began as a routine questioning turned into one of the most debated confessions in modern criminal justice. Was it the truth, or the result of pressure no teenager could handle? This is the story of Brendan Dassey. In late 2005, photographer Teresa Halbach disappeared in Manitowoc County, Wisconsin. Her remains were later found on property belonging to Stephen Avery. Avery, Brendan Dassey's uncle, had already been at the center of controversy. Years earlier, he had been wrongfully convicted in a separate case and spent nearly 2 decades in prison before being exonerated. Now he was again charged, this time with murder. As investigators widened their search, attention turned to others nearby, including a quiet 16-year-old named Brendan Dassey. On March 1, 2006, police removed Brendan Dassey from his high school. No lawyer, no parent in the room. He was taken in for questioning. The interview lasted hours, and it was recorded. What Brendan said that day would become the cornerstone of his prosecution and the center of global debate years later. During the interview, investigators asked Dassey about the night Teresa Halbach disappeared. Over time, he described events that prosecutors later said showed his involvement. Some details appear to align with the state's theory of the crime. The recording shows investigators repeating questions, suggesting answers, and encouraging Brendan to be honest. At the time, the interview seemed to resolve key questions. Years later, many would see it very differently. In 2007, Brendan Dassey went to trial. Jurors heard the recorded statements. They saw the video. They convicted him of first-degree intentional homicide and related charges. Sentence: life in prison. For nearly a decade, the conviction stood. Outside Wisconsin, few people paid attention. That was about to change. In December 2015, Making a Murderer premiered on Netflix. Millions watched. For the first time, a global audience saw clips of Dassey's interrogation. Viewers questioned his age, his comprehension, the absence of legal counsel, the tone of the questioning. The case became a flashpoint, not just about guilt or innocence, but about how police question juveniles. In August 2016, a federal judge reviewed the interrogation. The ruling was striking. The judge concluded that Dassey's statements were not voluntary. Key factors included his age, cognitive limitations, no attorney or guardian present, repeated suggestions by investigators. The conviction was vacated. His release was ordered, supporters celebrated, but it didn't last. Wisconsin appealed immediately. A higher court stayed Dassey's release. Then in December 2016, the full 7th Circuit Court of Appeals ruled. By a narrow 4-3 decision, the court reinstated the conviction. The majority said Dassey understood his rights. The dissent strongly disagreed, calling the interrogation deeply troubling. Dassey's legal team turned to the U.S. Supreme Court. They argued that the case raised critical questions about juvenile confessions. In 2018, the court declined to hear the case. No explanation, no review. The conviction remained in place. Today, Brendan Dassey remains incarcerated. Supporters argue his statements were shaped by pressure and confusion. Prosecutors maintain that his words contained independent details and were voluntary. No new proceedings have changed his legal status, but the debate has never ended. Brendan Dassey's story is about more than one confession. It's about how juveniles are questioned, how power and pressure interact, and how media can reshape justice conversations. One interview turned a teenager into a global symbol, and years later the question still lingers. Was it a confession or a failure of the system? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories that challenge how justice really works.